everyone, welcome back to another video from the Freedom Boys. So we're finally back after
It's been a couple months now.
yeah, since before Christmas break.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
But we finally remembered our passwords and we are back and we're going to be continuing to upload weekly content
On Fridays at 3 p.m.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully you're excited to see us back.
Yeah, hopefully. We don't know yet. But today we're going to be diving into some important recent developments in the U.S. political landscape that can shape some conservative values going forward, as well as actually some democratic ones as well.
So, one of the first things we want to touch on is the Safe America Act. This bill aims to tighten voter ID laws in the country. So, as of recently, there have been concerns about fraudulent elections through illegal immigrants voting or people who don't even exist voting, right? So what this bill aims for is to protect voting, the freedom of voting, by making sure that everybody who votes has to show a photo ID to get into the voting booth and vote.
It also makes sure that the election integrity is maintained throughout all the voting processes that the United States has, like presidential elections, state governor elections, all sorts of things like that.
Yep.
Another news in immigration, there have been a lot of ICE protests against immigration officers and that sort of thing. And again, as we said before, we're all for peaceful demonstration. That's amazing. It's amazing. It's a God-given right by the U.S. Constitution. It's great. Right? What we don't approve of is any of the rioting or fighting or attacking law enforcement officers who literally have nothing to do with immigration, and especially not attacking immigration either. Even if people see them, tensions can get heated, but at the same time, it's never okay to attack people.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, there have been instances of protesters barricading streets, protesters bombing immigration enforcement vehicles. There have been instances of rioters following ICE vehicles and harassing officers, which isn't the greatest thing in the world. That shouldn't be happening at all.
And of course, keep in mind that this is not everyone. There are definitely some peaceful demonstrations that are perfectly acceptable and completely covered under the First Amendment. And most of the people who are there to actually protest for what they believe in, they usually leave when the rioting starts happening, but it does happen occasionally. There was a walkout at many schools around our area, and I actually went and attended. I just wanted to see what was going on, and I ended up leaving. It was a very stressful experience for me, and I will say I probably will never go to another one of those, but it was still it was a good learning experience for me.
Yeah, like, I didn't go to the protests or the walkout because I had school, and I had a test after during that, so, and then also sports practice and stuff. But from what I heard, it started out okay, but then it kind of people there was close calls with cars and stuff. Apparently someone got arrested or something. So
multiple people did get arrested. Yeah. I remember some of our friends told us about that.
Another topic that's in the U.S. is going away from immigration
all that.
Is energy independence. So recently, the Senate has been pushing for policies that boost domestic energy production from oil and gas to renewables, aiming to reduce dependence on foreign energy.
Sorry, what are we saying?
Foreign energy and create jobs. So one example of this is trying to use our oil that we have a good amount of, and also to get oil from other places and refine it here. So that's what one of the goals is.
So that should hopefully improve the job market in areas that have oil and even areas that don't, by creating oil refineries and that sort of thing. And then moving on to renewable energy that's just going to mean that we're conserving a lot more of the energy that we're using right now. Of course, I don't think it's realistic to say that the entire United States is going to be running off of solar panels in a while, but I would say that there's going to be slightly less need for importing oil, which is going to be great, and we're still going to use U.S. made oil, U.S. refined oil. At least that's what we're moving towards. It hasn't happened yet, and it's taking some time because, of course, policies take a while to get into effect. But it should be hopefully coming together pretty soon.
If you haven't heard already, Nicolas Maduro, the former president of Venezuela, was captured by the U.S. forces.
This raid was actually very interesting because they were in and out of his house in like 15 minutes or less. And then there's a very famous picture, I'm going to pop it up on the screen, of him in a tracksuit made by Nike. It was a great photo. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I think Donald Trump posted that video. That picture.
He might have posted.
I think it was Donald Trump. If I can find the post,
it might be
I'll
an
pop it
AI
up again.
photo though.
I don't think so. No, that looks a little realistic. I mean, I can't tell anymore. AI's gone way too far. We'll cover that. Actually, we'll cover that in another video.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good topic.
That is a good topic. We just thought of that right now.
Okay, so, and I know you must have heard about this. I mean, it's been a couple months. It's been like a month now. This happened January 15th, I think. It was somewhere around that time. But, and basically, people are saying, oh, this is unconstitutional, or we shouldn't have done this. We shouldn't have removed a sitting leader from power. But I think one thing I want to point out, and one thing that you should be telling other people who tell this to you, is that, one, this was a military strike, not a declaration of war. So President Trump doesn't need congressional approval to strike Venezuela and capture president. Number
Though it
two,
is easy to confuse it for a declaration of war just literally because we went and yoinked their president. Well, like, but we didn't declare war on Venezuela, so it wasn't a formal declaration of war. It was a strike, so that means that you don't have to have congressional approval to make a military strike. It's like during wartime, the president's allowed to say, hey, we're going to take this logical position, this tactical position, without Congress being like voting on all that.
If Congress were to give approval, this wouldn't have happened for another 10 years. This wouldn't have happened for another like eternity.
As we all probably know, the U.S. legal system is very slow.
Yes, and also, the second thing I want to point out is that Nicolas Maduro was not an elected official. He rigged his elections, he took out political opponents, and he kept power from Hugo Chavez, who took power illegally. He gave the power to Nicolas Maduro, and he's been dictating Venezuela. He's been using the oil not for his country, but to give to U.S. adversaries. He's been giving to countries like Russia, Iran, and China, which, as you know, are enemies of the United States.
Well, not formally enemies, but we don't get along very well.
Yes, that's what I should have said.
We're not in any alliances currently.
Yes.
And it does seem like some tensions are rising between the U.S., Russia, China, and Iran.
Yeah. And then also let's talk about Iran, because right now in Iran it's crazy.
It's getting hot.
It's
getting heated.
Around a week ago, in that week, like I think 2 weeks ago, 36,000 Iranian citizens were killed by the Iranian jihadist regime, and I've seen nobody talk about what's happening in Iran so far.
Well, I've seen some people talk about. I wouldn't say nobody
on the
but
left. Nobody on the left.
There's a lot less people.
Nobody on the left that I've seen is talking about Iran. Maybe like one out of like three social media people I've seen. Dean Withers, I don't believe he talked about it. Harry Sisson hasn't talked about it. Yeah, and I think we need to do something about what's happening in Iran. Otherwise, more and more people are going to be dying. And I think the death count's already up to like 30 something or 40,000, something like that, which is crazy for only being like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good thing, especially when people are being killed in mostly peaceful protests. And I would genuinely use mostly peaceful because I don't really know too much about what's going on in Iran, but it sort of seems like there might be a couple of people who are trying to overthrow the government.
Of course.
Well, there always are. There usually are. Well, for most I shouldn't say always, but for most protests, there's at least one or two people who are there to cause trouble and that sort of thing.
And what's happening in Iran is the regime doesn't like that the people of Iran are finally standing up against the regime. For this regime has been oppressing and basically dictating Iran. Right? They haven't been and what they've also done is taken down internet. So there's no Wi-Fi, there's no cellular, nothing in Iran. So they can't even reach out, right? And reporters, some reporters have been prosecuted. Some were almost killed, almost hung by the regime. And there were U.S. citizens who went there to report, and they almost came back dead. But they almost didn't even come back at all.
Yeah. And that's a huge problem, especially when U.S. citizens are in the line of fire. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked the video a lot.
Yeah, and we'll be coming out with weekly content, as I said at the beginning of this video. But just to reiterate that, so keep looking out for more content from us.
It should be long form videos and a couple of shorts out at Fridays at 3 p.m.
Yep, and there'll be shorts coming out through the week, pretty much.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
As long as we can keep to that schedule.
Yeah,
you guys know how we are with schedules.
Don't forget to like, subscribe for more of these weekly updates and other events we'll be talking about. Thanks for watching.
Stay patriotic and God bless America.